Three, two, one, go. Boogie with the Bull. Tuesday Night Live, 7:02 on the East Coast. I'm Dave Blowman. You're not. Going to push this broadcast along. Maybe end it around 8 o'clock tonight or before. I didn't bring that much with me as usual, and what I did bring with me is probably false news. Well, one thing is probably false news. The other thing I'm going to do a rant on that you might want to stay tuned and listen to. But evidently, Olympic boxer Iman Khalif failed a gender test, I guess, to wrestle or box in the Olympics as a transgendered boxer. He has been stripped of his titles, a lifetime ban from the Olympics, lost $25 million in prize money. It was taken away from him. This was from one of the bogus new Facebook false news publishers. So tomorrow morning, it will probably be reported by somebody that it was BS and didn't happen. Because if you're a transgender Olympic superstar, you don't lose. You just keep being allowed to do whatever it is you're allowed to do. Now, the rant that I said I wanted to bring up tonight and get a little bothered with, keep my voice calm, rational as we're going. I won't yell and scream. My wife, Donna, is working on stuff in the background and does not need to hear me yell and scream. Delilah is on the bed. Lola is up on the bed. They're kind of relaxing post-dinner. The Boogie with the Bull YouTube live chat is open on the Dave Blowman profile and on Facebook, and always open on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. But evidently, Brett Favre has gotten himself, and it's Brett, not Brent, Brett Favre has gotten himself into some trouble with the House Ways and Means Committee. He evidently was testifying recently about using political influence that he may have to get access to political money that may have been raised by him or whatever, that he sent to his alma mater and used for personal expenses. And that's a big no-no. So I'm not even upset that that's what he did. What I'm upset more than anything is that Mr. Favre had the audacity to sit before the House Ways and Means Committee going through all of this broke the law political stuff and just kind of dropped on the table, oh, by the way, I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. As a career person with mental illness at 62 years old, got diagnosed when I was 46, so you do the math. It's like 16 years that I've been bipolar and dealing with that stuff. A little more than 2 years into Lewy body dementia, as you all know, and I have a link to Parkinson's. There are some symptoms that you can see. It's not far along. I don't know really where the dementia is at this point, because I don't honestly believe that once they told me that I had it and showed me and Donna the MRI, and you can see the Lewy bodies there's no more real estate in my brain that isn't occupied by a Lewy body, which is a little protein body that eventually causes the dementia. So it is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly like a punch in the face from Mr. Favre to have him sit in front of the House Ways and Means Committee, accused of breaking political laws, and then kind of, like I said, drop on the table, oh, by the way, I just got diagnosed with Parkinson's, kind of hoping that maybe they're not going to throw his ass in jail. Because of the added expense wherever he goes would have on maintaining his Parkinson's. Just I don't care if he's a Republican. I don't care if he's a Democrat. I don't care if he's an independent. Your mental illness didn't make you do what you, well, maybe it did. Mental illness. Parkinson's, I don't believe, is a mental illness. It's a problem with your body. You lose control of your body. You don't move much. And I have a lot of respect for people who were going through it. Robin Williams was going through it and didn't want to be a burden to his family, the note said. So he did things that I won't do. And by the time my Parkinson's is in full bloom, I probably won't be able to do it anyway. But I wouldn't do it. Michael J. Fox didn't do it. Michael J. Fox created the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which has about $800 million fully invested in Parkinson's research. I believe it's the largest Parkinson's charity in the United States, if not in the world. And they're doing fantastic things. Not just because he has it. No, and he's not much older than me. I think he's a couple of years older than me. And I've lived through watching him deal with it every day. You don't see him acting as much, which is very sad. You see him every once in a while on a TV show or an interview broadcast. He does go on and he talks about it. And he proves that you can have a life, you can have an everyday life if you have Parkinson's. You have dementia. Hey, you have dementia, you can be president of the United States. You know? The only time I ever, in my later years, accused one of my grandparents from bouncing me on his knee and saying, one day you can be president of the United States, is my mother's father, a God-fearing, card-carrying Republican, who looked at me one day and said, you can be president of the United States if you want to be. Just make sure if you are, that you're the best president of the United States you can be. In my later years, I kind of thought about my grandfather and would say the only problem with that, grandfather, is I'm Jewish and I'll probably never get elected president of the United States because I'm Jewish. Good evening, Jane O'Malley is watching. Good evening, Robin Brunson, who is watching. Robin Brunson recommends that if you are a professional coffee connoisseur, you go over to the Facebook page for Fat Cup Coffee Company and the Fat Cup Coffee Company website, and you look at all the different roasts, flavors, beans, coffee, gear, paraphernalia, merchandise, whatever you want to call it, and give them a try. From what I know, the last time I read both, you can get your coffee sent to you ground if you don't have a grinder. You can get it sent to you bean form if you have a grinder. And you can get some of the coffees they sell in K-cups. I never really followed up on it and looked to see exactly what you can get, but you can. So go to Fat Cup Coffee Company here on Facebook. Take a look around. Go to their website. Take a look around. If you buy from them and you see something on there, how did you hear about us? Just say Boogie with the Bull and leave it at that. Good evening, Fock, Rand, Fenda, but we all call you Glenn. So good evening, Glenn. I'm glad to have you here. And one of these days, we're going to get you on the Boogie with the Bull broadcast so you can sit in front of the microphone and look on a camera or put a box up so that people can't see your face if you have to do that. And you can tell the world what you are thinking. So, like I said, I really didn't bring much to discuss with, other than I've been thinking about it a lot, bouncing it off my wife a lot, bouncing it off a lot of other people a lot. Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m., Boogie with the Bull morning caffeines are probably going to end in the near future. Tomorrow will not be the last one because tomorrow is Wednesday. Probably another week that we do them. That doesn't mean that there won't be an unscheduled one at 10 o'clock in the morning. If my wife is working on a Monday or a Wednesday, I have access to the bedroom studio. I may just throw one on. The main reason for doing that is that it will allow me to put more emphasis, more planning into Tuesday night and Thursday night, because that in the core of my head is really what I want to do. I want to beef up the broadcast, try to get a panel of regulars or a panel of people that will be available, or anybody who wants to come on, and do it more in a panel and live chat mode than just me ranting into my camera and microphone and regurgitating the same things. I had a great time last night with Jen Woodruff and Ichabod Palmer and Daryl Rector, and of course Jerry Michaels, the host of the American Rebellion, which is now back on Facebook and Wimkin right now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow night. I will try. I think I'm going to try. And then if that happens and I'm on the American Rebellion more than just once a week, maybe twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday Night Live may get cut down to one of those 2 nights, not both. And that would just give me a little bit more time to work on it and get it off of Facebook and get it off of YouTube, and hopefully get more people watching it, maybe pick up some people wherever it is on other than Facebook and YouTube that might want to join the broadcast. But there is some regurgitation tonight, because there's always going to be some regurgitation every night. Just can't get away from it. We're 40-something days away from the 2024 presidential election. For Republicans and people who care, the question is, gunmen missed twice now to take Donald Trump out and not allow him to be able to run for president. They always say that old saying, third time is a charm. I'm not hoping that happens. I'm not wishing that happens. I've been saying for a long time, now other people are saying it, that Melania Trump probably got on the phone with Donald after Butler, Pennsylvania, and said, hey, you're done. Come home, go play golf around the world where you have nice resorts, gamble where you have casinos, but come home to me and Barron, the last Trump child to live at home. Spend time with Eric and Donald Jr. and Ivanka and her husband and their wives and your grandchildren, and just be around for another 78 years. You know, it's sad. I mean, I couldn't do it. I mean, if I was a presidential candidate, the first time somebody gunned at me, I'd probably just say, hey, I'm done. Because you can't have enough Secret Service protection to protect you all the time. If somebody wants to get you, there's going to be that opportunity where they will get you. And God forbid those 3-letter agencies and everybody else and that conspiracy theory that they're all involved in it. I wouldn't want to know. Because if I was running for president and I died and I looked down from heaven and everybody's getting tried and convicted and dealt with for wanting to take me out, it's just not worth it. You 34, 35, who knows, 192 felony count indictment, so that a stupid law-breaking Democrat judge in New York can send you to prison, which is really kind of stupid, because after the election, the appeal will come up. They proved in the trial that all of these charges were bogus. Not one of them was real. Still, a jury of his peers convicted him. That ought to be a crime. If you prove that you're innocent in a case against the city, the county, the state, and you get convicted anyway because the jury gets to vote, and if they vote you guilty, you're guilty, that ought to be a crime. But if he's elected in November, I have never said this before. We all believe that a president does in fact have the authority to pardon themselves. And after all this crap that they've put him through and tried to lay new crap on top of old crap to re-crap and bull crap and try to get him thrown in jail so that he couldn't run against Joe Biden. He's not running against Joe Biden. He's running against Kamala Harris. And there's so many conspiracy theories of Kamala Harris being involved with the Iranians who broke into Trump databases and Watergate all over. And supposedly reports, like I said, I heard that they not only broke into Trump's technology to give to her, they broke into her technology, and who they gave it to, we don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. It really is. We need a president who is going to take the wants, needs, desires of American citizens who vote, because the only people that should be voting in our elections are American citizens. You can be a naturalized American citizen and you can vote. You can be born here in the United States of America, being a citizen by birth, and you can vote, and you should. And if you're not, hang on, let me read something really quick. Yes, I'm doing a show right now. Hang on just a second. Let me type something really quickly. Yes, wait a minute. Yes, I am live right now. A link. Oops, wait a minute. Let me slide this over here. You get to see this live. So, actually, I'm just going to send this back. I will send you the link. I'll send you the link. All right, so let me do that. Let me slide out of here. Get to see. By the way, we're using Restream as our new live stream service, and Restream is so cool that you can talk to somebody on Facebook Messenger while you are live doing your broadcast, and it looks like you're looking at the camera and you're paying attention with what is going on while you are trying to send a mystery guest. We get into here. There it is. You can do all of this while you are live talking with your guests. I mean, your people watching. Okay. Wait a minute. There it is. All right. Mystery guest has a link. If she joins us, that would be awesome. If not, it will be another time. But anyway, Randy Rhodes is out there, and I'm going to hold off before I invite anyone else, Randy, only because I'm on my Chromebook. I didn't feel like changing, and I don't want to push it with more than two people, and it would just be my fault. So Thursday night, I will use my wife's that was just being stubborn, and I had mine. I was doing some things on mine, and it just made sense to set it up and sit down and go on mine. Everybody say a prayer between now and October 5th, because the No Budget Broadcasting Company is trying to work out a budget to acquire a new piece of technology. So just keep praying. We're trying very hard to be able to leave Chromebooks, move into Windows 11 technology, which is a little bit more stable. And then I'm very happy with Restream, but we will also be taking a look at OBS and trying to see if OBS works for us. And if OBS works for us, then they should be the official live stream partner of Believable Broadcast because it's open source code, free technology. You don't have to pay anybody monthly to use it. So that's what we're going to do. Greg says, you know what? That's what's missing. My live chat I didn't bring up on the screen. I was looking at my screen going, that looks really, really different. So let me put this up on the screen so that you can all read it as I read it. Greg says, I'm expecting October will amp up the chaos. Hopefully it's not as bad as I can imagine. Greg, I think it's worse than you can imagine. 100%. I think we all know how bad it is going to be or can be, but it's going to get bad. There was that Pakistani guy that came in illegally and was recruiting to kill heads of state and Trump, plus, of course, over 300 attempts while he was in office. You're 100% right, Jane. And that's the sad thing. That's the sad thing. I don't want to believe, I said this last night on the American Rebellion, I do not want to believe that the Secret Service and other three-letter agencies related to the mother three-letter agency of the Department of Justice are any way involved in either one of the assassination attempts. Because, Dan Bongino was an a Secret Service agent for President Obama. And I wish I could get him on a broadcast and say, hey, did you ever think about taking out Obama while you were president? Did you know anybody else at the Secret Service that wanted to get involved and take him out? I mean, to me, that is the most bizarrest conspiracy theory I've ever put in my head. I mean, we all believe that the government was involved in JFK's assassination and his brother, Robert Kennedy Sr., maybe the Marilyn Monroe murder. But, I mean, I'm 62 years old. I got dementia. I live my life in the past. 40 years ago, a little bit more, 42 years ago, I think, when I first started playing around with online technology. I was on CompuServe. I lived on CompuServe for a while. I was at Genie. I was at Prodigy. I was at, I was on the Commodore Network for a while. I loved the Commodore Network. I worked for a security company that got a contract in a building that used to be a Commodore building. And their lease was up and they packed up and they moved out. And a new company was moving in and we had to watch while the contractors were in there making changes to the building. And we found something like 5,000 Commodore monthly free access codes. And the guy who was responsible for Commodore, who was responsible for the building, said to us, anything that is left in here, they're going to throw away. Take it. So, God, I lived on the Commodore Network for a while with a VIC-20, a Commodore 64. But, my point is, I didn't want to grow up and realize that this is how bad our government can be. If it's proven that this is what's going on. I mean, I want to take a guy at his word. This last one, who wrote a letter. This is what I went off to do. Fortunately, he's still alive and he'll be able to talk if he wants to. And, let us in on why he did it. The first one left in a body bag with a bullet in his head, and I think, and several bullets in his head. So he's not going to be talking. And that's the other thing. Stop showing on the news these pictures of this nice guy in high school. Because that nice guy in high school wasn't the guy who went to Butler, Pennsylvania and tried to put a bullet in Donald Trump's head. And this guy from North Carolina somehow ended up wherever Trump was and tried to put a bullet in his head, camped out at the golf course waiting for him. Isn't the same kid he was in high school either. Maybe he is. But it takes a certain kind of screwed up, I guess, to decide it's okay to do this. Really. It takes a special kind of screwed up. And maybe we need more mental health care in this country. And I don't say that just because I have mental illness. But you know what, Jane? That's a great idea. That's a very good idea. Randy Rhoads, William Rayfield, Ray, if you can, wait a minute, I got to look up here for a second. If you can, come on Thursday with me, 7 p.m. Thursday night. And Jen Woodruff, if you're able to come on Thursday. We may not have power. We may not have internet, but I'm not dealing with that thought pattern right now. Okay? If we have power and we have internet, then Randy and Ray and Jen, come join me. I'll use my wife's Chromebook that night to make sure there aren't any problems. Yes, there are bad storms coming toward Florida from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico and working their way up here. And if you listen to Fox News, mainly Fox News weather people like to overemphasize how bad it can be or how bad they think it's going to be, so that when it's not as bad as they think said it was going to be, they look like heroes because it wasn't. You know, and we can talk about, is this man-made weather issues, or is this Mother Nature? Is it God mad at us because of this or that? I don't really care. So yeah, there is a challenge. The possibility is that we may not be on Thursday night at 7 p.m. But by the grace of God, if we are, I'll be on my wife's Chromebook, and I will make sure I invite Jen Woodruff if she can be here, William Rayfield. I will invite you to be here, Randy Rhoads. I will invite you to be there. And if it looks like we're going to be able to do it, there's 9 cameras available plus me. So 1, 2, 3, at least maybe 6 cameras. Maybe we can do it all. Sonny James, everybody, you got to see this. I made a comment on a post earlier today on Facebook. Sonny James is a god among Facebook group owners and admins. Okay, I had the privilege of meeting Sonny James after I left the ETECP Hardcore Conservatives group, which later led to the Hardcore Conservatives group. I had the opportunity to meet Sonny James online, and Sonny calls it like it is. He doesn't back down. If he thinks he knows what he's talking about. If he says something, it's the way he means it. Doesn't play the game with Facebook. Never did play the game with Facebook. And I'm glad that you're watching, Sonny. I'm very glad that you are watching tonight. The weather, wait a minute. Let me scroll back up to get to this one. There it is. The Weather Channel is in Perry and Helene, Florida. Okay. Well, they're all here, Jane, and it's I understand that the smarter thing to do is say this is how bad it can be, and you need to be prepared for this is how bad it's going to be. And maybe by saying that, regurgitating it all the time, every second of the day until the night the weather hits, gets people thinking and doing what they need to do. That's all well and good. But to me, it's as bad as the COVID lockdown because you scare people to everybody's going to stay at home, hide under the bed, and wait for it to either hit and be as bad as they said it was going to be, or be Armageddon, if that's what you want to believe, and come out, and that day, it's like I've said before, we were still living in Putnam, Connecticut, and I was watching Fox News in Hartford saying, it's right on top of you. It's right where you're sitting. Like they must have knew where I was sitting in Putnam. It's right on top of you. How bad is it? How bad was it? It was like 80 degrees outside. The sun was out. It was shining. It was beautiful. When they said it landed on us, it actually landed about 3 or 4 miles up the street over by the Thompson Dam. And it did some pretty damage when it landed over there, but it didn't land on us. The important thing that I will say on this is that as you're getting ready, if you live in a neighborhood and there are seniors living in the neighborhood with you, make sure you get them to the store so they can do their shopping or get their list and go shop for them and bring it back to them. If the power goes out in their house, make sure you pick them up and bring them over to your house. Keep them at your house safe until you can get a hold of family who might come down and get them, take them out of the area, or stay with them until this passes. I don't know. Just don't forget about them. Because if your power went out, they'd probably invite you to stay with them at their house until your power's back on or they lose their power. I don't know. But be prepared. Go out and shop. Don't be stupid. Don't go out and buy every roll of toilet paper that the store has. Buy what you'll need. And a backup if you can't get out to get to the store. Same thing with food. Go in there and buy what you need to have enough food on hand. Don't go crazy. Because what is there, we got to make sure everybody gets what they need. Sonny James is praying for all. Thank you, Sonny. We'll stay safe out here. You stay safe. I know you're out on the West Coast in a hidden location, but you stay healthy out there as well. Replying to Jane O'Malley about Helene. Well, like I said, they're out. They're all out. They're all here in Florida, I'm sure, watching. They all have offices here in Florida. All the big weather services do as well. And it's like watching whoever it was. I don't know. We kept changing channels the other night, I think. They all seem to agree that it's going to be the same. We live in Jacksonville now. If it takes a straight path up from the Yucatan Peninsula, it's going to go straight up from southern Florida to northern Florida, and it's either going to swing left and go west or swing right and go east. So they're all saying it's going to go right over you, and it could be very bad, or it's going to be very bad. We don't know. They don't know. We honestly don't. I mean, all the computers and all the maps and all the predictions, they're just predictions. The only thing I would ever worry about is if it goes east, if it comes up past us and goes east, there's a good chance that it goes out over the ocean, picks up a bunch of warm water, sucks up a bunch of warm water, comes back into Florida, around central Florida, and goes north again, and has a punch that I don't even think anybody can imagine how bad it would be if that happened. I don't believe if it comes up and goes west that it has as much access to water to come back. I mean, it could still spin around and come back into Florida and go north or go east, but it's not that it would be going over the Atlantic Ocean and sucking the ocean up dry and dropping that all over Florida. So be prepared. Like I said, Governor DeSantis is, what do you call him? Chief of the Emergency Management Department for the state of Florida, Kevin, said, if you got to have a tank of gas, top it off. Got an electric vehicle, plug it in, top it off. If you got one of each, put gas in one, plug in the other one. Be ready to rock and roll. If they tell you to leave, leave. Governor DeSantis went on to say that it isn't that houses, buildings, whatever, he has any fear that most of those will come down or be damaged, because in these years since before he became governor, technology has included, what could happen in an earthquake, what could happen in a flood. So they, the only thing they are fearful of is flooding and widespread flooding in the state that could cause us to lose power, of course, because it shocks and burns out the substations and everything. They even have some kind of technology right now that they can put around the substations, and hopefully it keeps them from going off and getting damaged by floodwater. I want to know more about that technology. So tonight when you go to bed, say your prayers. Tomorrow when you get up, look around your house, see what you need that you don't have, extra batteries, anything you need for your house, food, whatever else you need, charcoal. You got a grill in your backyard, that may be what you have to cook on because you won't have an oven or use of your oven. But make sure you're prepared. And if they tell you to leave, leave. If you have animals and they tell you to leave, Governor DeSantis said, to the best of his knowledge, usually one shelter in every county here in Florida is a pet-friendly shelter. You can bring your pets with you. I don't know how many you can bring with you, but you can bring your pets with you. So if they give you an evacuation order, get in your car and leave. And when they tell you it's safe to come back and hope that you didn't suffer anything. A flood didn't go through your house and kill your house and submerge over your car and that you didn't take with you or whatever else. And, our thoughts and prayers are out to everybody in Florida, anybody in the United States who could be hit by Helene. It's too bad that we don't have technology that we could, once it's here, shoot something into it that neutralizes it. You know, maybe we will one day. I don't. I don't know. I really don't know. So stay safe out there. Keep your eye on the TV or radio news, or get your news on the internet, however you can. In the case of your devices, make sure you charge all your devices, your phones, your tablets, your laptops, whatever. Because just because you lose power in your house doesn't mean that the internet necessarily goes down. So use your phone, keep your phone open, stay in contact with your family. That's the most important thing. As long as you can stay in contact with your family, stay in contact with your family, or call the one person who will call everybody else and let them know that you're alive and well and safe somewhere in Florida. Good evening, Tina Scott. Pleasure to have you here watching. And let me see. I got to grab this one. I'm going to grab this one for a minute and look over here for a quick second. Let's go to here. Let's go to here. Let's go to here. Let's come down here. 44 people watching right now, which is very good. It'll go up a lot more when we get the post, or when we post it as a podcast, which will happen in about 15, 20 minutes. We're going to end at 8 o'clock, so anything else anybody wants to add to the conversation, bring up as a topic for the conversation, we will do our best to stay safe. Tina, you stay safe as well, because if it makes its way all the way up from the Yucatan Peninsula, shoots up into Florida, does whatever it does in Florida. If it goes west, it's coming towards Sunny James. If it goes east, it could be going toward the Northeast. We all have family in the Northeast, and we don't want to see them hit by it. I guess the trade when you come to live in a place like Florida is that you don't have snow. You don't have snow. You just have a lot of rain, a lot of wind that does more damage than having snow. So I still wouldn't say I would give up the threat of storms for snow, but it's just maybe one of these days, like I said, we'll have that technology that they can just aim something at the eye of the storm and neutralize it. 15 minutes later, the sun will be out, life will be beautiful again. Although it's Mother Nature. Maybe Mother Nature is trying to tell us something. Maybe God's trying to tell us something. I don't know. There's so many different directions, tangents we could go in that direction. Thanks, Jerry Michaels, for sharing the broadcast so that Tina Scott and anyone else that is watching could be watching. I had a great time with Jerry Michaels, and as I said earlier, Jen Woodruff was there, Ichabod Palmer was there, Daryl Rector was there. I actually waited my turn most of the broadcast. I turned my mic off because I was doing something with one of my tablets, wouldn't connect to Facebook properly, so while I was paying attention to listening to the broadcast, I was trying to jumpstart an old Android tablet that I had to do a lot of crap with. But I had a good broadcast. I enjoyed it. Really did. So my mic wasn't on a lot, so I didn't interrupt people as much as I thought I would because my mic was not live. And when it was my turn to talk, I talked, and then I passed it back to Jerry. A lot of times I think I just said, "Who's up next?" and sent it. And I have to stop doing that because it's Jerry's broadcast, and Jerry should send it to the next person that he wants to talk, just like I should send it to the next person that I want to talk or I want to talk when they're on my broadcasts. And but if you want to hear me talk more than I talk on my broadcast, you should watch me on the American Rebellion. So tomorrow night, Wednesday, if we still have power and it's convenient for us to do it, I will pop on briefly. I don't know how long I will stay on. Maybe Friday. Probably won't do Saturday. So if I come on, it'll be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday each week when I come on, if I am allowed to come on. So thanks, Jerry. You're always a pleasure to be there. And you're welcome here anytime that you want. And if you didn't hear the good news, Jerry, Monday, Wednesday, 10 a.m.s are probably going to end next week. Next week will be the last Monday, Wednesday broadcast. It doesn't necessarily mean that I might not just pop on live sporadically at 10 a.m. on Monday and Wednesday, but we're going to stop those morning broadcasts and focus more on the evening broadcast. But anyway, appreciate everybody who watches. It's kind of hard to get people to watch during the day, during the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, because it's a lot of people are at work and they can't watch the whole broadcast, and or they can't watch because they're at work or they're too busy with whatever they have in their lives to keep them from being able to watch. So we're going to make it easy for you. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. For the time being. And if that gets too crazy, then we'll pick one of those, or who knows? I don't know. There's a lot of million different avenues to go. So watch and listen. Tell me how you feel about things going on. There's 40-something days before we have a very important presidential election. I'm not going to say anymore the most important presidential election of our lives because people keep bringing it to my attention.
You can stay on longer, Andrew, so that's going to go up there with her.
Okay. Well, I guess we can keep going a little bit longer. I was going to end at 8 o'clock just because I wanted to end at 8 o'clock. I have to get up at 8 o'clock. Or, Donna, you can hand me that thing that I'm going to need in 10 minutes, and I'll take care of it. No big deal. My evening meds get taken at 8 o'clock, so I either walk away or if I'm by myself, you all see it. I get up and turn around and jump back and swallow things that make life easier and easier for me. Sometimes easier for the people around me. That's not always true. But we can talk about that at any time. Anytime anybody who is dealing with any kind of mental illness, physical illness, because I don't know what you classify Parkinson's as. Is maybe your brain has your brain maybe has become mentally ill and you can't control your body the way that you want to. But anybody that is living with these things as I am, you're more than welcome to come on to a broadcast anytime, because the main reason I do this is to show other people that, hey, you got this stuff. Take advantage of it. Do it. Show everybody that you're still living. Enjoy life. Do what you always wanted to do. I mean, if I could, I'd be living with a radio studio in my house and I would be doing radio again. But anyway, I like doing this as much. So, let's see, I got to slide over for a second so that my wife can get by, because my chair needs to go on a diet so that my wife will be able to walk by with it when she needs to. Give me half a second. Okay, I'm going to hold this up, and she's going to tell you what it is. She doesn't like to come on camera.
It's a dragon.
It's a dragon. I wish the screen was big enough to show you the whole thing with this is the back, there's the tail, there is the wings. Beautiful dragon. And it's $975,000. You go to the Family Treasures Facebook group.
Are you locking me?
Yes, I have to lock the door so that my dog, so that our chihuahua doesn't go out and slap the bigger dogs. No, I don't know how much it is. I will find out from you. I'm guessing it's probably $25, $35. It could be more if it is. We'll figure it out. But go to the Family Treasures Facebook group. I keep saying I'm going to get the link and post the link in a broadcast, but go to the Family Treasures Facebook group. The profile picture is a gray and white checked, I guess you would call it, chicken, so that you know that you're looking at the right one. They show all kinds of beautiful handmade crochet items that they make. My wife Donna, our daughter-in-law Angela, are quasi-talented. So go take a look at that stuff. If you see something you like, but you don't see it in the colors that you like, you can message them, and they will make custom orders. They will give you a price. If you're not in Florida or not going to be able to pick it up in Florida, they will ship it to you, but then they will give you a price that includes shipping. I think it's really, 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 really cool stuff. We have a red, white, and blue octopus that I still haven't given a name yet. That a red, white, and blue octopus. Oh, and what every Republican wants to have, but they're not making them anymore. My wife made one for me. Happy Halloween. A red, white, and blue pumpkin. A red, white, and blue pumpkin. This was marked. Well, okay. Maybe, no. I'm going to keep it anyway because it's a red, white, and blue pumpkin. And that's the end of the merchandising for tonight. Go to the Family Treasures Facebook group. Join the group. Share the group with your friends. It's not political, so don't go in there and start slamming them with political stuff. They do make some stuff that is red, white, and blue, but don't push them for that. If you want to order something, yeah, by all means, message them, and I'm sure if they can, they will. And that's all we can do. So we can go till 8:30 as long as there is something to be talking about. If I'm just the only one yakking and you're listening to me yak, then I'll keep yakking for a little bit. I want to send out. I'm going to do a quick Xander Gibb Memorial rehearsal. That is not what I wanted. I want to go here. I really have to have an engineer who can do all of this while we're live, and I don't have to do it myself. MAGA News Nation, you've got it. Red Patriots for America, you've got it. Deceit Compline. I can't even say it, but Deceit Compline. I can't say it, but you have it, and it's nothing personal against them. It's part of my my speech gets a little crazy sometimes when I get wound up. Conservative Freedom Defenders, you've got it. Stand with Trump, you've got it. The Red MAGA Nation with Roland Hatton and I, you've got it. Donald Trump group, you've got it. Patriot Force group, you've got it. Another Roland Hatton group of mine with Roland. United Patriotic News, you've got it. Boogie with the Bull Uncensored group, which is my favorite, only because it's the home of the broadcasts. You've got it. Freedom Fighter, you've got it. American Regulators, you've got it. The World United as One Against Government Overreach, they have it. The World United Against Government Overreach, the World United as One Against Government Overreach, is very important. It's not just the United States. It's not just the government of the United States overreaching. It's governments around the world overreaching. And there are different active conversations going on in the group all over the world. Israel, Hamas is one of the most important or one of the most active conversations going on in the group. People in Israel post every day. People here in the United States post every day. So take a look at that group and join it. It's a private group. It's a post approval and comment pre-approval group only because if we don't, every time we take it off, we get hit with serial drive-by warnings to the point where Facebook threatens to close the group. So we just did it that way. But if you come in there and you show me that you're responsible with the posts that you want to put in the group and the comments on posts that you want to put in the group, we are more than happy to give you pre-approval so that you can be a part of the group. Patriot News Sniffing Dogs, you've got it. Love that group. Pissed Off Patriots with Geo Mega Man, you've got it. Moving America Forward with Fonda Blair and her sister Wanda Cavanier. You think you have a strange life. Twin sisters, Fonda, Fonda, and Wanda, Wanda, twin sisters, Fonda and Wanda. Shows you that their parents had a sense of humor. And they both have a sense of humor that is really great. Trump Times, you've got it. Trump's New Generation, you've got it. Yes, I know. I can't fix it. Trump's New Generation, that every time I post, the headline doesn't show up and I have to retype. I have to go in there and type a new headline for it to post. I catch that and I fix it every day, I promise. And if I ever miss it and don't get to it right away, let them stack up. If there's more than one that I have to go in there and type a new headline on, I promise I will go in and do that as well. If you get it in your group and you don't want it in your group, let me know. If you don't get it in your group and you want it in your group, let me know. If you want to get it on Messenger because you can't watch it live every day, let me know. I'll send it to you on Messenger. Get it to you any way we can. Okay, 25 shares is good. 25 shares is good. That should get us near around our usual viewings. Generally, we start with under 100. In the course of the broadcast, we progress and we get over 100 sometimes. Right now we have 55. So yeah, there's probably double that, probably 110 or more people watching right now, which is really good for me. I'm very happy that people tune in. We try to have something that makes you want to tune in and watch every day. And we welcome you to be a part of it. If you have an idea for a Boogie with the Bull broadcast that you want to see us do, message me on Messenger. Hopefully you'll want to be a part of the broadcast and we will bring you on. And you can be a part of it. Randy Rhodes says, if I'm available and your lights don't go out, he'll come on Thursday night, yakety yak, don't talk back. Randy Rhodes, you're more than welcome to come on anytime you want. Okay? You are. More than welcome to come on anytime you want. Anybody's welcome to come on anytime you want. I tell people the biggest problem is that I either have to come up with something to say for every second of every hour and a half broadcast that I do myself, or end early like I should. And I can't do that because when I was doing real radio, I was on 10 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning. You always got to have something to say. So if a guest wasn't there or, I was doing it myself, I had to have something to say. Anyway, hang on for just 1 second while I go to This isn't right. Oh, yeah, that's right. No. Today is Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to do this and then I'll correct it in a moment. But today's Tuesday. I'm very confused, but I will correct it. I'll correct that in a moment. Hang on just a second. Anyway, Jane O'Malley says, let me get this up on my screen so I can read it and get it up there at the same time. Whoops, slide it up just a little bit. There we are. I know I'm not the only one, but I have faith in God. But I'm anxious about what's going to happen to this country. There are Venezuelan gangs took over a sanctuary building in New York and selling drugs and guns, and police can't do anything because it's a sanctuary. In Chicago, the gangs there and the Venezuelan gangs are fighting. The Venezuelan gangs have taken over a whole block of buildings. It's terrible. It really is. It really is. And it really is terrible. The Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, was appointed border czar by President Joe Biden. It was her job to secure the border. Now, if you think Kamala Harris, as Vice President border czar, has done a fantastic job securing the border, you should damn well vote and elect her President of the United States. If you don't, and you think she's done a terrible job, then you should be looking at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is actually the only person running for president who knows what it's like to be president. He was elected president. He served as president for 4 years. Kamala Harris may be the president of the United States right now, but she was not elected president. If you are happy with gang activity in your building, in your neighborhood, in your state, in your city, where you are, getting out of control, and you running scared, well, you got Vice President border czar Harris to thank for that. Okay? The Biden administration, at the least, should be held in some kind of criminal case because they have taken what was the panels that were left to complete the Trump wall were being stored somewhere at a cost of something like $166,000 per day per panel. But they sold them. Where they went, I don't know. I don't care. Where'd the money go? I better care. Because if it went to Hunter, Joe, Ashley, Jill, any other Biden grandchildren, I don't care. Something was wrong. This is our country. We were born here. We have a right to be here. We have a right to vote and tell the government what we want the government to do. The government works for us. We do not work for the government. That's how it is. And if you disagree with me and you think the government runs the place, well, they do. But if you think the government should be running the country, then vote for Kamala Harris. Because she's going to run everything. She's going to tell you what time you get up in the morning. She's going to tell you what you have for breakfast. She's going to tell you what you do for the rest of the day, what you don't do for the day. They're going to take a central bank digital currency card and give it to you. And if you fart on Facebook without permission, they're going to fine you. If you say something bad about them, they're going to fine you. If you go have coffee with somebody at McDonald's and you say something bad about the government, they're not going to give you your food. They're going to charge you for it. Then they're going to slap you with a fine. To the point where you will end up, I couldn't live in that society because I would end up owing the government. I'd have to do my broadcast getting paid by the government so that the government could just keep my paycheck. It is not going good out there. Take the rosy glasses off. Look around. Talk to people. It's exploited to the max here on Facebook. We're told that we're not allowed to talk about it on Facebook. They will nail you for doing it on Facebook. Lately, they nail me for typing "welcome aboard," whatever group it is. Please invite your friends to join the group. That evidently is a Facebook community standards violation, and it gets you a 1 hour restriction to where you can't go into any other group that you're in and welcome people. That's why you see me sharing the group and say, I got a 1 hour restriction for welcoming members in the group. Please join the group so I can get another 1 hour restriction when I welcome you and post it in the newsfeed. This is not what social media was meant to be. And why I'm still allowed to do it on Facebook is beyond me, because I come on every night and I say, hey, this is what they're doing wrong. These are rules that I know they're breaking. These are laws they're getting away with breaking, and no one seems to give a fuck. And that's just the way it is. Well, you're right. No one gives a fuck. Excuse my English to the ladies and or the gentlemen that are watching that got mad because I said the word fuck. It's not going to get better. And even when Donald Trump takes over and sits down in the Oval Office on January 25th for the second time as president of the United States, it's not going to be perfect either. He said he wants to start the biggest deportation we have ever seen in the history of the United States. The biggest. I hope he can do it. I really do. Rumor has it that the Venezuelan delegation was told, do not come back or we will kill you. So you people better figure out a way to pull your heads out of your rectums and decide that you don't have any choice. You need to stay here. Well, you need to figure out how we do things here and do it that way. Otherwise, as far as I'm concerned, all of you should be taken control of by the military and learn parajumping. Fly over your country that you came from, give you a parachute, pop the door, boom, go. Go home. Stop coming into the United States of America because you think that you and all these other people that come in with you have a right to change the United States of America to make it into your country. If your country was so great, why are you here? Honestly, if your country is so great and your life was so great over there, why the hell are you here? Why the hell are you here? Okay? go home. And the worst, I made a comment on a post today. I am sick and tired of this one to the hilt. Stop talking about reparations. You want reparations because an ancestor of yours 100 or more years ago was brought here as a slave and died as a slave. And you want to get paid for that. Bullcrap. Or when President Trump is doing the deportations, call him up and say, hey, I want reparations. Because if you called me, President Globan, and said, I want reparations because 150 years ago, my great, come back tomorrow, and Randy Rhoads would still be saying great grandfather was a slave. Because I'd look at Randy and say to Randy and that person, you want reparations? He came from Africa. I give you a one-way ticket back to Africa. You go to Africa, okay? If that's what you want. As we start winding down the black thing, I don't care anymore. If you think you're black, then you're black, okay? If you think you're black, you're black. If you think you're a woman, but you're biologically a man, that's fine. Be a woman. Don't cheat biological women out of things that we created for them. Women's sports. Enough. Okay? To me, it takes in my thing, it takes a man, an athlete, who knows that he can't make it as a male athlete. It takes a terrible person to think it's okay to start dressing as a female and saying, I'm a female now. I couldn't make it as a male athlete, so I'm just going to decide that I'm female and become a female athlete. Title IX, the NCAA had that. Men could not compete in female sports. A biological man cannot compete against biological females. It was in there for a reason. Then the Bidens come along, Kamala Harris comes along, and we decide we're going to just do it. They're going to do it how they want to do it. You know, it used to be cute when you sent your kindergartner, preschooler to school, and they come home and they go, "Oh, I'm a cat now." So that it was kind of cute, you know. And you dealt with it for a couple of days, and your kid grew out of it. But now go to your preschool and tell my grandson, my granddaughter, your child, you don't want to be a boy anymore. You want to be a girl. You don't want to be a girl anymore. You want to be a boy. We don't know what you want to be, so we're just going to make you a donkey. You know? No. Absolutely not. Our children, our grandchildren, they are the future. They're going to take this place over when we go. Okay? Someday I'm not going to be here doing this anymore. And I always thought maybe I'd have a son or a daughter or a grandson or a granddaughter that want to take it over. And let them do it. And keep it going. And maybe there will be a relative. Maybe there will be. But, you know, we are crazy. Jane O'Malley, I identify as a giraffe. They're tall and beautiful. I was going to reply to that by saying that I'm a horse because most of the time I identify as a horse's ass. Can't be a Democrat because they're jackasses. But, I don't know where we went wrong. I really don't. I wish I did. I wish I could fix it. Facebook is never going to be fixed. Never going to be fixed. Because Facebook couldn't work if it was fixed. If everybody liked everybody on Facebook, everybody respected everybody on Facebook, Facebook would crash and burn. But, I came onto Facebook in 2009. From 2009 to 2015, I never got a community standards violation for anything. Never. Any group of mine could get a false news or fake news, whatever, from Facebook. And there used to be an 800 number that you could call and you could talk to a human. And 9 out of 10 times the human said, "Oh, you're right." Boom, took care of it. But they got rid of that because the humans were doing it too much. Now you can't talk to them. You write an appeal to the Facebook Oversight Board. But the Facebook Oversight Board tells you in that appeal they have no binding authority. They can make a decision and tell Facebook, and Facebook does not have to take it. They must think I'm the biggest horse's ass on Facebook. They can make a decision. They can agree with me, but Facebook doesn't have to take that. That's why when I joke around about running for Facebook CEO 2024, that shit would change right away. Nobody who is on the Facebook Oversight Board right now would be on the Facebook Oversight Board if I became CEO. The Facebook Oversight Board would be made up of members of Facebook and members of Facebook, not Facebook advertisers, not Facebook investors, not Mark Zuckerberg. They would review something. They would review something and decide whether or not it needs to be deleted. And if it comes to me that they think it needs to be deleted, we're going to have a long discussion with me and the entire Facebook Oversight Board about why it needs to be deleted from a public forum. Because the rules on a public forum are you can say anything you want because it's your opinion. This is not a publisher. It's a public forum. They don't operate like a public forum. They operate like a publisher. Section 230 says you can't do that. Someone at Facebook the other day tried to tell me, no, it says Facebook can do whatever they want. That Facebook is a public forum, but they have limited liability known as publisher protection. They don't have it because a public forum can't have it. They don't need it. And every time these people sit down in Washington, D.C. with House committees, Senate committees, this one, that one, bullcrap. They don't have it. There's no such thing. A publisher has limited liability for what they allow on their website because they control everything that is allowed on their website. If they don't want something on their website, it won't be there. When I had MaximumLiberty.com, I had people who gave glowing testimonials. I had posted people who had serious complaints I showed that how I responded to their serious complaints. That's why they were there. But the point is, when you're a publisher, when it's your website, you control who you allow on it and what they can do on it. When you're a public forum, no. It's open to anybody. If you want to be a publisher of Facebook, change and become a publisher. Okay? Change and become a publisher. And most of the people that you don't want on Facebook will leave because they won't be on Facebook anymore. But we'll all go someplace else. I'm hoping we'll all go over to Truth Social one day. And the only thing that's keeping me from spending more time on Truth Social is that I can't live stream there yet. I can. I have to take my YouTube channel when I'm live and share it over there. Because I don't have a real studio where I can do it like J.J. McCartney used to do. Get up every morning, set up his whatever streaming service he used, set that up on his YouTube channel with a countdown loop, then go over to Facebook and post it manually in 500 or 600 groups every single day. I have no idea how the guy did it. I would go apeshit if I had to do it. Now I think you get Restream. It's more than the $19 a month, but I think you can go with one of the packages on Restream. You can go in and do it and schedule it and tell Restream where to put it, what time, and where to put it. And they will do it for you. I think it costs a lot more, but and we don't need it right now. But, knowledge is power. And if you want the power to survive right now, then you got to get out there and look around and see what's going on. Unite. Tell the government, we're not going to take this anymore. It's not you telling us what to do. It's us telling you what to do. I hope President Trump does a complete audit of the House and the Senate and every account of the House and the Senate from A to Z and then some, all of them. And then the Senate Majority Leader, along with the Vice President and the Speaker of the House, will have to sit down with the President. And when Donald Trump pulls out the audit from each one of them, why are we still putting $50 trillion every 6 months in an account to investigate why the red trickled hoo-ha had to be relocated? Whatever, something stupid, so that we can wean the government, tighten it up, get rid of what we don't need, get rid of all the, it shouldn't be the FBI has this in it, the Secret Service has this in it. There should be one of this that works with all of them that need to have that. They get money for it. Lean, clean fighting machine. President Trump said at one time his intention was that the tax form, the 1044, would be about the size of a postcard. And it should be. It should be. All you really need to do is take your 1099s, W-2s, add them up, put total in there. See how much you paid in. Take your deductions, boom, send it in. People sweat about it. Plus, I still believe that income tax should be against the law anyway. I have to pay the federal government to work in the United States of America. Why? What'd you do? Did you help me get the job? No. I went to 2 community colleges in California. Okay. With life experience, I could probably finally wrap up the 2 AAs I should have walked away with. But when I went, there was no tuition. There might have been some class fees here and there that I had to pay. So they didn't help me get my first job in radio. They didn't help me get any of my jobs. I applied for them. I got hired. I got fired. I got hired back. I quit. Maybe I got hired back. I don't know. But taxes are against the law. Well, we need them for police. We need them for roads. But that's true. But, Jane, I live in Florida. We don't have a state income tax, but I'm sure the rest of our taxes are probably higher than they are in most other states, so that we have all of that. Maybe property taxes are higher. And property tax, to me, also is something that's 100% crazy. You buy a piece of property, you pay sales tax, then you got to pay the city a tax every year to use your piece of property that you own. You know what? The reality is you don't really own it. Now, Kamala Harris, you bought a house 150 years ago in your family. Somebody bought your house, the house that you live in now, for $25. It's now worth $475,000. She wants you to pay capital gains tax on the $450,000. Then, when you turn around and sell that piece of property for $1.5 million, you're going to have to pay the capital gains tax on the $1.5 million. No. Because me, Papa, bought a house, gave it to my family when I passed, when I didn't need it anymore. I want them to live in it. Doesn't matter if I paid 50 cents for it and it's worth $6 trillion. It's their home. It's the Glovin family home. There is no need. You should not be paying property tax on a piece of property that you own. It's like a use tax. I don't believe that it needs to be paid. I understand that, somebody said, we'll call it property tax. We'll charge them like $1 million, and it takes like a billion mills to make a penny. But we don't. No. And you can't use it how you want. You can't do what you want on it. You don't have air rights. You don't have mineral rights. If you collect rainwater on it, they're going to tax you on that. I'll pay property taxes, but if I put 50 gazillion 50-gallon drums on my property, the rainwater that falls on my property is mine. Otherwise, you guys figure out a way to make sure it doesn't rain on my property. My sister in California, they have a bunch of tanks all over the 40 acres that collect water when it rains. And then my nephew usually goes down on the tractor and with another tank and takes out whichever one, and then brings it up to the main house and fills the tanks to go into the main house where my sisters live. And that's the way, it's her water, it's her land. And because my sister lives, I believe, at the highest point on the land, and there's natural springs under the land, made sure that. Hold on, Dee. Made sure that everybody that lives below her has water because of I guess the biggest underground springs are on her land. So they made sure that water continuously flows down to everybody else. That's the way it should be. We took them.
You took them from Saturday and Friday.
Well, I took it from today.
No, Saturday and Friday are gone.
No, I took.
Hey, stop it.
Okay, right. I took it from. Okay. Good night, folks. There's a problem that I got.